So I started to think about it, and you know, my video was mostly not about Joe Budden, the person, or even about the turmoil going on in the show. It was just more about things that I noticed about the YouTube numbers since the debut of the Joe Budden Network. So I thought to myself, okay, I can do that again, but for someone who I think does YouTube well in the hip hop space. And DJ Vlad, I know some people probably clicked on this video like, wow, like what? Like, trust me, DJ Vlad, he still has me blocked on social media. There are still attempts to demonetize certain videos on my channel. I don't have an issue with DJ Vlad, and this may not be what you thought it was going to be. Again, like, this is kind of where I'll start the Joe Budden comparisons between Joe Budden's YouTube channel and DJ Vlad's YouTube channel, and what they do well, what they do similarly, what they do differently. Now, obviously, these are two different types of channels. They do two different things, two different goals, two totally different people, but they're both in the hip hop space, hip hop content creation space, and they're both very high up. So they're peers, and they have very few other peers. So I think it's fair to do a case study on them. All right, so here's Joe Budden's YouTube channel, 912. So you'll remember me saying in my Joe Budden video, the downfall video, he was at 913,000 subscribers, and I was saying like, wow, it's taken a while. He had just gotten to 913, like maybe a month. Why can't I say 913? He had just got into 913 maybe like a month ago, or maybe like a week before I had posted the video. And it was like 912 he was at 912 for a long time. It took a long time to get to 913. So he's actually going back down. He's at 912. Like, he's lost subscribers actually. And he's actively posting, like, for a channel with this many subscribers, a person this popular, and the eye like this who's actively posting. It's one thing to have just the subscribers crawling slowly, but to actually see you lose subscribers, like, I can barely like bring words to it. It's just startling for me to see. So anyways, the comparison, you can see Vlad has 4.49 million, 4.5 million. We look at the average views he's getting. He's pulling in some views. You know, obviously the type of people he's interviewing, very niche people. One thing about Vlad though, he knows his niche audience, and he caters to his niche audience. He knows it, and he caters to them. So he knows who's watching his videos, and Vlad is very good at this, so we can add this as one of them. He's picking people that he knows his audience will appreciate. And I know this because there are people that you can only find on VladTV interviewing. Like, where else am I going to see Morris Day interview in 2021? Where else am I going to see Shaka Khan interview, Perrion Roberts? So he knows who to get. You know, it may only be a small portion of people who want to see this person interviewed, but the people out of the group of people who are interested in this person, when this interview drops, like, they're going to be drawn to it. So he's attracting communities of people based on who he's getting. He's getting like people with cult followings, maybe people who are B or C list, but maybe people really like them, but they just couldn't get that, you know, a certain opportunity or something happened. He has a niche and he knows it, and he's aware of it, and he caters to it. He picks interviews that are going to do that. And that's another thing. His niche is interviews. He knows exactly what his channel is. And interview-wise, whether you like it or not, whatever your opinion is, again, I won't say my opinion on it. He has a topic. He has questions that he asks pretty much every interview. It's become pretty much the brand of his channel, and you know what you're going to get when you come here. And if you want that kind of content, you know where to get it. So he's carved that out. So whether or not you think it's bad, whether or not you think you don't agree, I'm not going to say my opinion on this. Again, I'm going to try to remain as unbiased as I can, but he's good at it. He knows, and he's aware of his base. Joe Budden, on the other hand, well, I'll get back to that point. I'll finish this point. So even though you see some interviews may have 20, 30, 40,000, that may seem low for a channel with 4.5 million. Remember, he's splicing the parts. If you were to combine all the individual parts together and just put everything, all the views on the parts and on the full episode together, you would have, it would look a lot different than 20,000. He's posting a lot. So when we look at Joe Budden's, I think Budden is a bit more confused on who his audience is. But it's a new channel. Or it's not a new channel, new network. But still, he's had Joe Budden TV for quite a while, building this audience, and nor is the fan base for Joe Budden TV. Still a bit confused on who the audience is. I think that's why some of the shows aren't doing the views, aren't transitioning. Like, again, 912,000 subscribers. And some shows, this was posted a day ago. Let's not look at something a day ago. They're still accruing their views. Let's look at about a week ago. You got someone at 10,000, 8,000. Some is still in single digit views, thousands wise, on a channel with 912,000 subscribers. And he's kind of red hot right now. His name is in the news. He had a great last year, coming off a great 2019. He was prepping a lot of big things. He's brought 9 figures to Spotify, millions of people every single week. So it was just shocking. Now, before I close this out, I do want to hit one more part, and that is actually going on to VladTV.com, because a lot of people say that why doesn't Joe, or not a lot of people, I saw D-Fran, he has a YouTube channel, D-Fran, shout out to D-Fran. He was saying on his channel, why doesn't Joe Budden just start a website and put a paywall in front of it if you want full ownership? Because this is Joe Budden's thing. He says it's not about money. It's never about money. You know, in terms of him doing deals with his network. He says the turmoil currently going on is not about money at his podcast. But for me, I think these things are about money. Again, who am I, you know? But if it wasn't about money, again, I go back to D-Friend. Why not just start, if it's all about ownership and having all the data, which is what, you know, the Joe Budden podcast was saying, you know, yesteryear. It's all about just ownership and having access to data. Like D-Fran said, why not just go buy your domain and post your content on your website and put that behind a paywall? You completely eliminate the middleman, that is Patreon. Shout out to Patreon, but you know they are middlemen still. They're streamlining the direct-to-consumer process, but they're still a middleman. You can go buy a domain, create a website, and post it. Post your videos, post all your content the same way you post it on YouTube, and put a paywall in front of it so people have to pay X amount of dollars to access it. You know, people are going to post in the comments like, you're giving him all this free game, you're doing all this for free. Like, I'm not saying anything that's like groundbreaking. Paywalls are everyone knows about this. But let's look at VladTV as an example of someone. I don't know Vlad's dealings or what he does and all that, but just going on his website, I'm going to make some assumptions. So going on his website, and I'll say when I'm making assumptions. Now, it's not the most glamorous website. I mean, it honestly looks like he might have even built this himself, which is not a bad thing. But he's still getting his viewers, and he has all of his data. There's really no middleman. And so it does, again, Vlad is showing you, it doesn't take a glamorous setup. You know, it seems to be pretty basic, and he posts his content just like he does on his YouTube. And I bet Vlad isn't crying about and I bet Vlad isn't on a tirade about not having the data, and why isn't this happening with this company, and why is this? He has all the data. He can log into his, wherever he created the website, whether it's WordPress, wherever he did it, and he can go and click on stats. He can go on his YouTube and click on analytics and see all the demographics, see all the stats that there are to see. He can go see everything. You know, so there's a difference there between the two. So my question is also with D-Fran, like, why doesn't Joe Budden do that? Because I think it's about the money, personally. And there's nothing wrong with being about the money. I am about the money currently, so I always tell my subscribers, please, when you support me, you can go buy a shirt at top5rapwebsite.com, click shop. If you can't do that, I understand. The easiest way to support me is to click an ad. Click the ads and let the ads play. Watch a whole ad and click it. Click it, then watch the whole ad. That's the easiest way to support me. So I'm not anti-sponsors, anti-ads. So I guess it depends on how you also put yourself out there. So I think Vlad, he's an example of someone who does the content creation well in hip-hop, in the hip-hop realm. And I think that's a very niche audience of us, hip-hop content creators. He does it well, and it looks like he may have a team, but there was a point where I remember didn't have 4.5, and it was still, the channel was still being posted kind of in this fashion. So this is more than likely DJ Vlad's strategy, and he's either taught it to his team or he's still doing it hands-on. But with this video, this many videos per day now, I can't imagine it's still hands-on. He's got a stronghold on it. He's doing it correctly. He knows his audience. He knows how to use his content, and he delivers. He's just keep delivering interviews, and that's what he does. So I also wonder which came first, VladTV or Joe Budden TV. So anyways, again, if you haven't watched the first Joe Budden video, just be sure to watch that. This one might make a little more sense. Again, I just wanted to take a look at what, you know, YouTube content creators, hip hop YouTube content creators, and how they're doing things different. You know, I love the website idea. I love having my website. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. Just wanted to compare and contrast, you know, some content creators on YouTube and hip hop. I love the website idea though. I like, you know, having that website that gives you full access to data. You know, that gives you a hub. If you have a little more infrastructure, a little more resources, you can create an app to pair with it, maybe to listen to content more seamlessly. And I also like the other avenues. I like YouTube. There's a lot of people on YouTube. So when I post on YouTube, that helps build my personal website personally. Yeah, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Artists, I do album reviews. So if you would like your album reviewed and post it to top5rapwebsite.com or the YouTube, go to top5rapwebsite.com, contact me. I've streamlined that process and we can get something going. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you for watching. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.